Hey, second grade, what's going on? It's Mr. Hunter here. I'm with your math work for today. Today we're going to be working out of pages 211 and 212. You see it right behind me on the board. All you need is your worksheet, your pencil, write your name and your date. I'm going to go through some of the things that we'll be talking about today. Again, as always, I'm reviewing with you. If at any time there is something that you do not understand, need a little bit of clarification on, you can rewind the video, go back, or you can email me if you need to. But that's what we're doing. So I'll go through it. Arithmetic skills, I should say. Pretty much today, solving subtraction problems like we've been doing with borrowing from the tens and the hundreds places. So we've been doing it with the ones place, but now we're going to go a little bit to the left, tens, hundreds places, subtracting, getting the differences with bigger numbers, okay? Going down, we're going to use our rulers again. You should have a ruler, hopefully you do, but you're going to be measuring things with the centimeter side, not with the inches side anymore. So the really, really, really small lines on your rulers, it's going to have an abbreviation in the corner that says CM. You're going to actually put that there, and you're going to be measuring with the centimeter side to identify the length of some of the items in your book today. And then you'll go down, you'll be looking at more money problems. We'll do a word problem. We'll go through it. It seems like it's a long one today, but I like the examples, and I'll help you walk through those steps. And then we're going to look at some clocks and setting the time, and then doing some addition problems with the math family of 18. A math family is pretty much when you have one number and you subtract everything, you find all the different answers just with that number. So today we're working on 18. I'll explain a little bit better when we get to that point. So you should by now, you should have your pencil. You should have your worksheet. And we're going to dive in. I haven't done this before, but I want to say a prayer before we start because I just want to make sure that we are in the right minds to focus, understand everything. I'm able to communicate to you in a way where you understand it and that you are able to receive it, obtain it, apply it, and really, really move forward so that when we're growing on our next test, when we're adding more information, it's not confusing, you're able to understand it. So dear God, thank you for waking us up this morning, this afternoon, whatever time we're watching this video. Help us to comprehend everything that we're learning today. Have good attitudes, be fresh, be focused, and not distracted. Let our minds comprehend everything that everything that we're learning. Let me as a teacher, Mr. Hunter, be able to communicate in a way where it's received, and the parents are learning, and the students are learning, and we're all just growing each and every day as we're in this situation with the virtual teaching. Thank you, God, for all those things. In your name we pray, amen. All right, I felt led to do that. I feel a little bit better. Hopefully you do too. All right, so looking at number one, it says write the differences. We know what differences are. Differences are when we're taking away. We are subtracting. So what you're going to do is you're looking at the number, and you have 645 minus 567. So that's a big number, 645 minus 567. All right, so starting off, the first thing that we know when we're subtracting, we cannot take away 7 from 5. So right off the bat, we know we have to borrow or regroup. So when we're borrowing, remember what we do. We go right to the next number there, and we're going to have to cross that out, right? So we're going to cross out that 4, and we're going to take 1 away from 4, so that's now going to be a 3. And when you take 1 away, you put that 1 in front of the 5. So now instead of 5, it's going to be 15. And now we have 15 minus 7. Well, what is 15 minus 7? If you don't know, just like I told the first grade, what you can do is you can write a number line. So you're going to start at 1, but you're going to write your number line all the way up to 15. So if you're at 15, you go 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I have enough room. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, just barely had enough room. All right, so if you start at 15, you take away 7. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 15 minus 7, we landed on the 8. So you know that's an 8. So we're going to put 8 down here. Now we have another situation where we have 6 at the bottom and 3 at the top. Can we take 6 from 3? Can we take 6 from 3? No, we cannot. So now we have to borrow again. So we already borrowed from the tens place. We have to borrow from the 6th place. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross out that 6. We're going to have a 5 there. And so now we add the 1 in front of the 3. So now we have 13 minus 6. What do we need to do? Go back to the number line. 13, start at 13, go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 13 minus 6 is going to give us 7. So you go down, you put 7. And now over here, we had a 6, but now it's a 5. So 5 minus 5. What is that going to give us? If you have 5 on your hand and you take away 5, you have 0. So pretty much that's going to be a 0. Do you need to write the 0? No, you do not. So your final answer is going to be 78. Now, there were a few different steps. We've usually just borrowed from the tens place, but this problem made us borrow from both the tens and the hundreds. Can we do that? Yes, we can. We just did it. Was it hard? No. Was it an extra step? It was. But it's really easy when you take your time and carefully look. And then the best way to help yourself, those number lines. Don't try to do it all in your head. I know you guys are smart. I know you want to move fast, but don't try to do it all in your head. Use the number line. Give yourself some space to make a mistake. So you can go back and say, oh, I stopped at 10. I don't think that's right. Let me try it again. Instead of just writing the answer down. Because when you do that on a test, I don't know, I have to mark it wrong. Just because 9 and 10 are close to each other, if you put 10 and the answer is 9, just because it's close, I still have to mark it wrong, okay? So you're gonna do that for the next 3 problems in number 1, okay? In that section, there's different numbers there, even in number 2, 521 minus 228. You can't take 8 from 1, so you'll have to borrow and regroup. All right, we understand? Excuse me. All right, let me get some of my tea. The cool thing about teaching at home and learning at home, you could be having a snack while you're watching this video, and I can drink some nice tea to make sure my voice stays healthy and fresh to talk to you. All right, so this is what I was talking about earlier, where we're going to use our ruler. So now it's time to get your ruler out. All right, if you have your ruler, go ahead and get it. Number 2 says, more than 40 kinds of frogs live in Corcovado. Wow, Corcovado, Costa Rica. Remember that island I showed you guys? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. More than 40 kinds of frogs live in Corcovado. Measure these frogs to the nearest centimeter. So that first frog says it's a red-eyed tree frog. Why do you think they call it a red-eyed tree frog? Maybe because the eyes are red. I think that's a good answer. Then the next frog in the middle, that's a big frog. It's called a rain frog. So it probably likes when it rains outside. It wouldn't like California. We don't get that much rain here. So a rain frog, that's a pretty big frog. And then the top one, the glass frog. Now, I'm trying to figure out why they call it a glass frog. Maybe it's because it has that clear skin, that clear color. Because I don't think that frog is made out of glass at all. I don't think God did that. He could if he wanted to, but that's not the reason. So maybe it's the color and the shape of it. Either way, you're going to take your ruler, you're going to place it down. Make sure you have your ruler exactly at the beginning so it doesn't mess up your measurement. So you're going to measure in centimeters. What does centimeter start with? It starts with a C, and the abbreviation is cm. Okay, so cm, you're going to measure, and then you're just going to put down the answer for what you find. So starting carefully, make sure you have it lined up correctly. Number 3, we're doing a word problem, and it involves money. Okay, it involves money. I like money. This problem talks about money, so let's see what it's saying. Bella bought 6 plastic jungle animals for a dime each. Now, remember, when we're working on a word problem, I said the first thing that you do is when you hear a number, you underline it or circle it. So what number did we hear first? Bella bought 6 plastic. Oh, so 6. Maybe we should circle that or underline it. She bought 6 plastic jungle animals for a dime each. Oh, a dime. We can underline that too because a dime is money. And how much is a dime worth? A dime, I think right behind me it says it. 10 cents. So a dime is worth 10 cents. So how much money did she spend? So we have 6 jungle animals, and she bought 6 of them, and she paid a dime for each one. So how much did she pay? So the one way that we can work this out, it says right there, it has a hint. Draw 6 dimes. Another way, you could draw 6 dimes, but you can also just draw the amount that a dime is worth. So how much is a dime worth? It's worth 10. So she brought 6. So why don't we say we draw 6 dimes, 6 tens, right? So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Or if you don't want to write them that way, you can write it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you can put a big plus sign down there at the bottom. So now you can find out how much. So she bought 6 jungle animals, and she paid a dime for each one of them. So she paid 10 cents for each one. So let's just count it up. Let's count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 zeros plus that's 0. Yeah, I think you're right. So that's a 0. But now we have 6 ones. So what do we need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did somebody yell 6 at me? Are you yelling through the computer screen? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. We could have just did it, but I just wanted to make sure we're taking the steps seriously. So we're going to go down to 6, and now you have 60. So 60 is the answer. But wait a minute. Do we need to put a cent sign there because it's money? We can do it on our own. Now, in this particular problem, they already have the cent sign written for you, so you don't have to do it. You can just write the number 60. But in the future, if they don't have that sign and it says what's the answer and it's dealing with money, you need to always make sure you put the correct sign, whether it's the cent sign or the dollar sign. All right, number 4. Sean had 39 cents in his bank. So we underline or circle 39 cents. And then he found 26 cents in his pants pocket. How much money did he have in all? So are we taking away or are we adding in this particular problem? 39, he had 39 cents in his bank. I hope he gets more money than 39 cents. And then he found 26 cents in his pants pocket. So he got more money. How much money does he have in all? So I think what we have to do here is we have to add them together. So what's a way that we can add it together? We can write it sideways, and my board's getting a little crowded there, so I have to do some erasing. All right. Thank you guys for being so patient and quiet with me while I'm working here. I have a lot to show you today. So it says 39 and 26. So we can write the problem like this. We can write 39 plus 26, or we can write it vertical, 39 plus 26. All right. Now, this is a problem that is dealing with money as well. So you just have to make sure you add correctly. 39 and 26, I'm not going to do it for you, but I set up the problem so that you understand that's another word problem where you just circle the numbers and then you put them together. You listen to the key words. How much money did they have in all? That is something that's telling you you're adding together. So very good. Good job. I know you'll do well on that problem. Number 5, similar word problem. It says if candy hearts cost 2 cents each, how much candies could you buy with 8 cents? So mark the bubble next to the answer. So if candy hearts had 2 cents, you're going to underline 2. How much could you buy with 8 cents? So if you had 8 cents, right? How much candy could you buy if something cost 2 cents? That's a question that you're going to have to break down. How would you break that down? 1 is 2 cents, 2 is 4 cents, 3 is 6 cents, 4 is 8 cents. How many cents do you have? 8 cents. All right. So that's a little something right there. Looking at page 212, you're going to actually go and look at the differences between the sea turtles. And this is what we're talking about with the families of 18. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be subtracting. So you have 18, but then you're just taking the numbers 1 all the way through 9. And you're going to subtract 18 minus 1, 18 minus 2, 18 minus 3, 18 minus 4, and all the way up to 9 until you find all the answers from 1 through 9 that 18, that works with 18 subtracting 1 through 9. It's what we call the families. You can use the turtles at the top. There's 18 turtles, but I'm just saying that you might want to count to make sure for yourself. All right, so count those. Number 2, you're setting the clocks. But anybody notice something different about setting the clocks? You are using Roman numerals. So what you have to do, make sure you have the Roman numerals here. That's why I wrote them on the board for you. We have 1 equals 1, and you know how to write them. V equals 5, but then when you go to 6, that's 1 after 5, 2 after 5, 3 after 5. And then you get to 9, it's actually going to be, you look how 10 is an X, so 9 is 1 before 10. And then you can go after that, 1 after 10, 2 after 10. Those are the numbers 1 through 12. Write your clock, draw your circle here. And then instead of putting 1, 2, 3, 4, why don't you try writing the numbers in Roman numerals around the clock so that way you can practice with it, okay? All right, you're gonna look at the first one and you're gonna see the little hand is on the hour, the big hand's on the minutes. What is the little hand pointing to? It's pointing to a V with 3 eyes. So let's look, where's the V with 3 eyes? The V with 3 eyes is 8. So we know that starts with an 8 now. So is the big hand pointing to anything? No, it's just pointing to what we have, the X and the 2 eyes, which is 12. So that means if it's on the 12, it's the o'clock. It's 60 minutes. So that is 8 o'clock. So it's going to be 8 o'clock. There's no minutes there. The next two, excuse me, a little tricky, a little different. They have minutes involved. So make sure you number your clocks appropriately. That's why this chart is here for you. And then when you go back down to number 3, how much money? Wow. We've been working on this a lot. It's a little tricky once you start adding everything together. But look at the first one. It says 5/4 equals, and your job is to look at the quarter. The quarter is worth 25 cents. The easiest way for you to do this, instead of trying to add it all in your head, is to write 25 how many times? You can write it 25 5 times. So 25, 25, 25, and so on, all the way down. You could actually write it straight up and down vertical so that you can add it all together. So I dropped my eraser here, but what you can do, instead of having it set up like this, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, all the way down if you like, all the way down, okay? So you can do that all the time, or you can take two 25s and separate it and break it down. But however you want to add it up, you just need to do that for each one. 7 nickels, well, you're counting by fives how many times? 7 times. So you're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Is that 7? I think that is. That's 7. So you know 7 is 35, and you just put that down there. Now, for some of these problems, they have the dollar sign written. But for 35, for 7 nickels, how much is it? It's 35 cents. So you can write the cents. And then you have the 12 pennies. How much does that equal? Make sure you put your numbers after the decimal or before the decimal if it's a dollar, and you're going to add it all up together, okay? It's not as hard as it looks. Take your time. If you need any help, you know that's what the numbers reflect for how much a dime is worth, how much a nickel's worth, how much a penny is worth, how much a quarter is worth. I know this is different. It's difficult. I'm teaching, and I'm learning every day how to get to you and let you understand what it is we're working on. But hopefully you understood this lesson. And if you have any questions, rewind the video, email me, and we'll see you tomorrow.